I don't really know fully why Charlotte created the program, but I will have to say this, that given the time and era that she was here, she created the program in 1969, and that was right in the middle of Title IX, and I think she probably felt a real sense of duty, perhaps, to give women here another or more opportunities for participation, and that had to be, it really speaks to her, what kind of woman she was, because she was very close to retirement, and most people do not take on these humongous challenges right before retirement. They're ready to cruise out, and that was not her style, and I commend her and I love her tremendous, and I'm so glad I got to play for her. I never saw the game before I came here. It was a tremendous opportunity to learn something new, and I still like to do that. But what I really loved about the game, unlike any other athletic sport I participated in, it was the freedom. I could just run and run and run. There were no boundaries. We could create whatever we wanted to. We weren't, and this is just for lack of a better word, we weren't overcoached. We didn't have plays. We just knew what we were supposed to do. We were supposed to beat our opponents to the ball. We were supposed to, win the draws. We were supposed to hit our teammates with the ball when they put their stick out. We were supposed to get the ball past the goalkeeper. And it was a simple game, and we loved it. I loved it. It made me who I am as far, no, it didn't make me who I am. It reflected totally who I was, in that a free spirit. That is exactly what I loved about the game. It just allowed me to be who I really wanted to be. We could just play to our heart's content. There were no timeouts. There were no substitutions. I mean, the game was so different. No boundaries. No, just so different than the game today. But I loved it, and I still do. Well, I have to say that I have always loved Lock Haven. My father went to Lock Haven back in graduated in 1934, and for that reason, I guess I came to Lock Haven, and it was all I wanted it to be, academically and athletically, and I just have always had a wonderful feeling for this place. I never dreamed I'd come back to coach and teach here, but I certainly enjoyed that aspect of my life as well. When I came here, I was hired first to be two head coaches, head basketball, head lacrosse. They went back to back. There was no time in between. They overlapped. That was a difficult thing just to begin with. We didn't have the field space, the court time. I mean, all those things were very different. In addition to that, I taught a load of 9 credits. So that meant, because it was in physical education, some of the courses, I taught anatomy and other things too, but because of the physical education courses, I had many preps. So I'd have not only 4 or 5 preps, but I'd also have to coach. You did all the scheduling, you just had no scholarships. I had no assistant coach. So, I mean, it just was a different era. But the challenges were more getting funding for just equipment, for travel to go to the away games, to get meals, to have, and probably the biggest challenge of all was just getting equal time in on the playing fields, where the fields weren't, we didn't have AstroTurf then, and so every field was just used to its max, and that included physical education classes. So they were burnt out, and they were really guarded very closely by the male coaches and their programs. And so for us to find time to practice was a real challenge. We managed, but it wasn't under the best circumstances. But again, that was the era of women's athletics at that time. On the positive side, I loved working with the players. They were obviously the reason I stayed in coaching as long as I did. The associations I had with them were marvelous. Fortunately, we made it to the PSAC championships and won them several times. I can't remember how many. We had an appearance in a Division II national championship tournament. So it was a wonderful experience as well, but coaching was very challenging back in those days.
When I first took the position at Lock Haven, I was still a young coach with so much to learn. It became the greatest experience coaching there because I had the best female mentors all around me every single day, guiding me, pushing me, turning me, moving me in the right direction when I needed them to. And so I came to realize that the traditions of Lock Haven and the pride that you feel of the Haven and the integrity of the people around you is just so much more important when you're all alums and you all care so much about everything that you're growing together. And so it was really an exceptional experience to be able to coach at Lock Haven for so long, to turn the program into a winning program, to win numerous conference championships, and instill the same traditions in all of those generations of lacrosse players that are out there coaching right now. It's a pretty amazing experience, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. It means everything to me. From the time that I was a first-year player to a first-year coach to my last year at the Haven as a coach, and I think that it's not just what was happening at the Haven, but what was happening with our sport across the country, and not just happening in our sport, but also for women's sports all across the country. We saw a huge growth in women's sports, but we watched a tremendous growth in women's lacrosse throughout my career at Lock Haven. And now we see the sport in almost every state and just booming everywhere, and we can't even find enough coaches. So it's been an amazing turn. The equipment's changed, the rules have changed, the game is faster, and it's all, in an effort to grow this sport, grow this game, and make it more exciting for the general population to want to play it and then pass it on to the next generation. They've asked me to tell you my fondest memories, and I can't choose between two different memories that I have. One was just in general my senior year, the spring break trip that we took to Hilton Head as a team. It was just so much fun, and we were really successful on that trip, and we bonded a lot, making my senior year really, really exceptional. But I would also say one of my other favorite experiences was having Sherry Drysdale tell me and pull me up the field when I was ready to quit on a sprinting drill. I know you're probably there tonight, Sherry. You're the best teammate ever, and I was gonna quit and you wouldn't let me, and I'm so happy I never gave up on that drill that day, and you made me a better person and a better teammate that day. And it was just an amazing memory and something I took with me into my coaching career. Well, as a student athlete at Lock Haven, I felt like we had the best of all three worlds, being a good academic institution, access to excellent athletic facilities and coaches specifically, and a really great social life. So it was a very well-rounded experience for myself and all of my teammates. And I can tell you that it was a magical time for myself being in college at the Haven for 4 years.
My experience as an LHU student athlete was awesome. Just with lacrosse itself, I had an instant group of friends. We had a great community with the athletic program and had constant support academically, but personally as well. And it kept us out of trouble, kind of.
It really is, looking back, the most fantastic experience that I can come up with. Couldn't ask for anything better. I mean, obviously times were tough when we were getting in shape and getting yelled at and told to work harder, and coach pushing us to be our best. So those were the tough times, but that's what bonded us together for those years that I was there with the girls that I played with all 4 years, was bonding together in those moments. And that's what grew our friendships from those points, and why many of those friendships still last today.
But one way I can kind of measure how much the program means to me is every time on break when I would come home, and I can speak for at least the 9 others in my graduating class and most of the team. Coming home on breaks, as soon as we get home, we would already be looking forward to the time we'd go back to school to be with each other, to better our game, to just really spend time with each other, with the coaches and everything. It's just something we would always look forward to, and we were waiting for the next time we could go back and do it all over again. We kind of had an automatic 20-plus best friends in undergraduate years, which is a huge advantage to anyone else who's at Lock Haven that's not an athlete. And we had coaching staff who would drop anything that they were doing to be there for their players, and whether it's a stop in the office for a laugh on a bad day, or advice about your classes, advice about school, advice about the future, or even just, watching film or something like that. We're constantly wanting to make each other better, whether it be on the field as a better player or in life as a better person. And that's evident every single day, and it still is after we've graduated.
My experience as a student athlete at Lock Haven was incredible. I was a health and PE major, so I was on campus from about 8 a.m. Until practice every day. So I think my time management skills really flourished in college. And I know there were so many times that all of my teachers were super supportive if I had to miss class for away games or practices or any situation, and vice versa. Coach Kristen Selvage was super supportive if we had things going on that we couldn't miss. So I really felt like the student and the athlete part really supported each other, and I overall had a great experience being a student athlete at Lock Haven.
Best way I can kind of describe it is getting the best of both worlds, being part of the best team on campus and really getting a quality education with some of the best professors ever. I still really keep in touch with them, and they really made my education what it is. It's able to make those connections that you carry with you through post-grad. Being a student athlete, also, you're part of the best support system. Throwback, 2009, athletes supporting athletes. You really are a community within your community.
Individually for myself, I grew mentally, physically, emotionally in those 4 years I was at Lock Haven. I don't know who I would be today or where I would be today if it wasn't for the lacrosse program at Lock Haven. Just because I feel it had a dramatic impact on me and turning me into this awesome being that you see before you now.
Well, Lock Haven Lacrosse to me means family. It means traditions. It means relationships and time spent together. I am so proud to look back and see all the young women that have remained friends for years and years after playing together at the Haven. They're in each other's weddings, they are holding each other's children in photos, and it's very special. But it's not only our athletes, it's their parents. They still get together and go on vacations together and do winery tours together, and I get to see all that stuff on Facebook and see how close they are. And that's tradition and family, and there's nothing better than that, those relationships that were formed and that will last a lifetime, and that's really special.
As cliche as it sounds, everything. It made me me, it made me who I am today and who I'm going to be, and I'm super proud and fortunate for that. It means family, confidence, strength, passion. It means making memories through the blood, sweat, and tears, because in the end, you went through all that together, and you went through that together because you all have the same grit, same attitude, and same goals.
These people were my family, absolutely. They were the reason I never felt homesick, and I never doubted that Lock Haven was the place for me. And I think that families are who help each other through hard times, but also celebrate each other's successes, and that's something that we all did for each other, whether it be from the coaches down to the players or from the players to the players. We would always be there for each other.
Lock Haven Lacrosse means everything to me. I had the best experience at Lock Haven being a lacrosse player. I think it was probably the hardest 4 years of my life in terms of just, college, and then on top of that being at a competitive nationally ranked program. I learned so much about myself throughout those 4 years. I learned so much about other people, my teammates. I literally made the best friends that I still have to this day during those 4 years, and it was overall just the best time of my life. I think anytime I get together with my friends from college, all we do is talk about lacrosse and all of the funny stories and the memories, and obviously the success we had the 4 years that I was there means so much, but I think more the relationships and the memories and the stories mean so much more. I don't know what else I could really say. It was literally the best 4 years of my life.
LHU Lacrosse meant the world to me. I had the best 4 years there. I made lifelong friends that I still keep in touch with today. And honestly, LHU Lacrosse just instilled a sense of dedication and confidence that I carry with myself every day in my personal life and in my career.
Lock Haven Lacrosse is not knowing maybe everybody in the room, maybe not everybody on this video, but you know all of our stories. You wear some of our jerseys, 2-7, and you went through everything that they went through, and that's a connection that's unlike any other.
It just means a tight-knit group of girls that are pushing with every ounce of their being to be the best that they can and be the best in the league. I love seeing the girls now getting to PSACs, getting to national championships. We dipped our toe in that a little bit when I was there, didn't get that far, but just the fact that the program is growing as strongly as it has been since I graduated it's fantastic to see. So that means a lot to me to see the program grow and see girls get as much out of it as I did.
It took 50 years to get where we are today, 50 years of leadership and, you know, the culture that it is now. What's amazing about it is the only people that truly understand are you, alumni, and the coaches. It's the only way you can understand the uniqueness of Lock Haven Lacrosse and being a student athlete. Makes me sad for some people, but also pretty damn proud. You may think that what you have is normal and every other team goes through it and has that connection, but you'll soon learn after graduation that's not the case, and that's...
But to the coaches, I would hope that you would have the most successful coaching opportunities possible, that your chances for success would be maximized, first and foremost. For the coaches. Second, for the players, I would hope that they would have a commitment to the program and to themselves, to be the best they can possibly be. And whoever comes here to play lacrosse or participate in the other programs or the scholarship of it, I would hope that your commitment would be to excel, to be the best you could be on and off the field. Because listen, it's so important that we all represent ourselves first and foremost, but the university in every way possible. I just think that we represent and should represent Lock Haven University very nobly, and I hope that you know, the best is yet to come, and I think the next 50 years will take it to the task.
I hope for the next 50 years of Lock Haven Lacrosse that the teams, as they roll down the road, are able to celebrate so much success, but that they maintain the tradition of relationships and family. There's so much pride in that program. There's so much tradition in that program. Walking out onto the field with the banner, having the team prayer before the game, Shar, which is so sacred to our field hockey and lacrosse programs. Such a beautiful place. There's no field on the planet as beautiful as Charlotte Smith Field. So I hope in the next 50 years, tons of trophies and tons of success, but mostly I want to see those relationships brew and cultivate into something super special.
We're goofballs. We are.
Too hard on 3.